Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. On this channel I talk about fragrance, skincare, fashion, and the finer things in life. And today we are talking about 4 fragrances. What brand are we talking about today? Giorgio, Armani. Which collection? Alright, La Collection des Terres, Précieuses, and there are 4 fragrances in that collection. Rouge Malachite, Vert Malachite, Bleu Turquoise, and finally Bleu Lazuli. So, if you have any questions in your mind regarding these 4 fragrances, so you are eyeing them, you want to buy one but you don't know what to do, I think this video is for you. What are you going to do? Go grab a drink. I have mine here and I actually have caffeine-free Diet Coke today. Or if you're feeling a little hungry, go grab a snack, come find me here, and let's start our conversation. Giorgio Armani 4 fragrances. Okay, so Giorgio Armani, La Terre Précieuse. The collection's name is like Precious Lands, and they are inspired by the locations around the world that has played an important role in Armani's life, I believe. So that's what the website says. Whatever, don't quote me on that. But there are 4 fragrances in this collection, and 2 of them actually I talked about a year ago when I was starting this channel, and those 2 fragrances were and still are Rouge Malachite and Vert Malachite. So in that video you'll be watching a little more amateur version of me. He was more tense when he was filming, looking at his iPhone XR, but whatever I said in that video regarding those 2 fragrances, Rouge Malachite and Vert Malachite, still hold true. So, if we want to recap quickly, for Rouge Malachite, we have to admit that Rouge Malachite is a glorified alien. In my book, to my nose, there are similarities, and if you ask me which one I would prefer a very old version, kind of like Thierry Mugler version of Alien. So, after L'Oreal purchased Thierry Mugler, they nixed Thierry on the box, and then now it says Mugler Alien. But if you come across an Alien box that has Thierry Mugler written on the box, maybe I'll just put a picture up on the screen, an Alien, that's the older version, and to me, or I would prefer that older Alien version over Rouge Malachite. Are they exactly the same fragrances? No. Are there different vibes or vibrations when you smell both side by side? Yes. But that being said, how is Rouge Malachite? Rouge Malachite is a nice fragrance, a little spicy, kind of like tuberose, and as it lives on your skin longer, it becomes more seductive. It's a compliment getter. I think it's a crowd pleaser. However, it still is a glorified alien to me. And what about Vert Malachite? Vert Malachite, you will see the picture on the screen right now. It's a milkshake. It's a vanilla milkshake with some orange and white florals, and there is an undeniable indolic vibe in Vert Malachite. And when I compared the performances of those 2, I think Vert Malachite beats Rouge Malachite when it comes to performance department. So, your burning question. When we watched that video a year ago, you had the 2 bottles in your hands, but where are they right now? Unfortunately, I had to declutter them because I want to be able to buy more fragrances. I want to be able to buy more decants so that I can review more fragrances and, share them with you, because whatever I show on this channel is actually was purchased with my own money. I don't do product placement. I don't receive free PR. So in order for me to try out more fragrances, and in order for me to be able to curate a more meaningful fragrance, I usually declutter my fragrances. Am I upset that I had to declutter Rouge Malachite and Vert Malachite? Quasi. So I don't really mind losing Rouge Malachite, though it smells nice and the bottle is beautiful. I kind of like mind the absence of Vert Malachite because it's my cup of tea, more like, gourmandish, more like ostentatious. It's more obnoxious to my nose, and the performance is better. So that, vanilla, orangey, white floral milkshake kind of thing that goes on in that fragrance is more my cup of tea. And then, maybe losing that is more touching to my soul, but it's not a big deal really, because I mean they are not my like lifetime all lifetime favorites. So that's the reason I had to declutter them, because I wanted to try more fragrances, and namely actually two of the fragrances that we are going to try today, in addition to these first two, are Bleu Turquoise and Bleu Lazuli. So I have these like 6 ml decants again from Armani's La Collection des Terres Précieuses, and now we are moving into the blue world, into the blue. Okay, so how do we do today? I think we're gonna start with Bleu Turquoise, and then we're gonna make our way to Bleu Lazuli, and at the end of the video I'm just gonna recap all 4 of the fragrances, and I'm just gonna give you my version of the least favorite to the most favorite of Armani Privé's colorful, extremely nice, well presented bottles. Okay, so let's start with Bleu Turquoise. Let's just put the photo up on the screen. So this is a 6 ml decant actually. It is very generous, and I was able to try very well, very thoroughly. So let me check the name again. So when I first received these decants, I was like, okay, where is the name? But apparently when you twist and then pull it out directly, it comes out. It's very neat. And then this one is Bleu Turquoise, and it just dried out actually here because I just filmed my Turkish version of this video. So speaking of, each and every video on this channel comes in 2 different languages. One of them is in Turkish, I've just filmed that, and the other one is in English, which you are watching right now. And they are exactly the same, so meaning that this is a bilingual channel. Alright, so let's spray this a little higher up on my arm here, and then here kind of like a dried out skin stand, and here the opening. All right, so what's going on in the opening? It's salty. Whew, it's peppery, I think. It's fresh, definitely. And there is that, kind of like masculine, freshy fragrance vibe that goes on in Bleu Turquoise. And as it dries down, I think it becomes more tropical, maybe more like, yellow floral. And at the end of the fragrance, this is more like a vanilla. So I said to you, salt, a little incensey, peppery, kind of like a yellow floral vanilla. So you might be thinking, is it more like an amouage incensey vibe? Is it like Olympia, salty vanilla? So let's just put it out there right from the start. This is not Olympia. I mean, you might be wondering, okay, salty vanilla, but I think they are different. But there is that, maybe the same realm of fragrances, but they are to me different. And then the incensiness here is not, as prominent as an amouage incense would stick out, but there is something going on here, but it dissipates. It's in the opening. What this basically dries down to is, kind of like a mossy, kind of like the woody vanilla scent. This is dynamic. I think this is unisex, but this is more gravitating toward masculine unisex. Is this fragrance really piquing my attention? No, this is not really something that I enjoy in my life. I think this could have been sweeter. This could have been more attractive and sensual. However, I understand what the Bleu Turquoise is trying to do here, and I think it's doing it well. So I think there is definitely a crowd out there that would enjoy this fragrance. For me, that crowd is more like, men out there who love fresh fragrances, salty fragrances, woody fragrances, and men out there who want to smell differently than the crowd. However, any fragrance can be worn by anybody. So what you should do is, if you just listen to me and my description of this fragrance, and then if you are like thinking, okay, I might be interested in this, all right, go try it in a store, or wherever, or just decant it and try it on your skin and see if you enjoy it. So it is there is sharpness in this fragrance, there is woodiness in this fragrance. And actually my husband, who likes fragrances very, very dominated, when I first sprayed this and he walked into the living room and he was like, oh wow, this smells nice. So that gives you an idea of what kind of a fragrance this is. Not my cup of tea, and obviously not my favorite among these four fragrances, but not a bad one, especially when you combine the presentation, that blue bottle, with the fragrance itself. I think it's worth checking out. Alright, so the next fragrance that we are going to talk about in detail from this collection is Bleu Lazuli. So I have the decant of Bleu Lazuli here, and the photo, the bottle is on the screen right now. So let's just double check Bleu Lazuli. So it dried, and the dry down is here, and then let's just spray here just to get a quick opening. So there is a problem in the opening of this fragrance. So imagine yourself walking past by mass fragrances in Sephora or in like a duty free or whatever store you are in. There is that male fragrance breeze that comes to you. When I first spray this fragrance, it hits me, and I don't like that. And then I was like, okay, a really, really, really beautiful presentation, beautiful name, price is expensive, are we really dealing with that? Fret not. It dissipates, it disappears, and then this becomes a more gourmandish, fruity, tobacco honey scent. But how it does so, I'm gonna tell you. So that, freshness, I guess, when I looked at Fragrantica, they show mate tea. But when I say mate tea, I would just more like, kind of like bitter feeling to it, but it's not that bitter here. But it's like a more fresh, but it definitely hits you, but it disappears. It blends well to the middle and the base of the fragrance. And when we move down to the leather, we are welcomed by a plum note. Plum note that is fruity, that is not that sweet. And when you combine that plum note, that juiciness, with honey and tobacco at the base of the fragrance, this becomes interesting. This becomes intriguing. So definitely worth checking out. I think this is more unisex. If you like tobacco fragrances, but if you like tobacco fragrances that are not in your face, kind of like hitting you at your nose kind of tobacco, you might be checking this one out, and you might be liking this, because this tobacco here is very, very well-rounded, smoothed out with plum and kind of honeyed vibe. So this is nice. Maybe this is more like a winter fragrance than Bleu Turquoise, which I would say 24/7 365, more like a signature scent. Maybe this is more maybe colder weather, but not really. I like this one. This is nice. What about the performances? Comparing Bleu Turquoise and Bleu Lazuli. I would need to reapply them after 5 hours, because I like to smell and I'm an oversprayer. However, I don't think performances on these two fragrances are deal breakers. It's just that, you have to like the smell per se, and you might be willing to spend the money, asking price, for these two fragrances. But Bleu Lazuli, why not? More gourmandish honey tobacco fragrance. Obviously, these two last better on clothing. This is warmer. This is more inviting. This is more delicious. All in all, this is more like Bleu Turquoise, more like a distant, aloof, kind of like there is like the cold aspect edge to it, which might work really well on your skin. And especially when I talk about Bleu Turquoise, I imagine a guy, wearing this, but the whole collection is pretty unisex, and any fragrance is unisex. So This is basically my rundown of Bleu Turquoise and Bleu Lazuli. So you have seen the photos of these two fragrances on your screen. So what do we have here? We have a collection, Terres, Précieuses, and there are 4 fragrances. So the first 2 I talked about almost a year ago when I first started my channel, and that video is in the description box, in the card section, or at the end of this video, or please go check that out. Remembering that this is a bilingual channel and each and every video comes in 2 different languages. You know, there are different playlists as well. One of them is in Turkish, one of them is in English, so you have to be following the American flag sign to be able to reach my English videos. And you know, whatever I said in that video where I talked about Rouge Malachite and Vert Malachite still hold true. Glorified alien, orangey vanilla, white floral milkshake. So, Egemen, what are we gonna do? Are you gonna buy a full bottle of either Bleu Turquoise or Bleu Lazuli? No, I'm not going to. And if I have to rank them from my least favorite to my most favorite, that list would look like Bleu Turquoise at the 4th spot, Bleu Lazuli at the 3rd spot, and I would pick Rouge Malachite for the 2nd spot because it was a little difficult, you know, comparing Bleu Lazuli and Rouge Malachite, but I think Rouge Malachite kind of like, you know, wins when we compare to Bleu Lazuli. But my favorite by far would be Vert Malachite, and I think the smell is more to my liking. The performance is better than the other 3. It's more gourmandish. It's more like, you know, obnoxious maybe a little. It's more striking. It's more like, you know, gets you and kind of like it shakes you, whips you a little. So I like that about that fragrance. And there's also like that milkshake orangey kind of like indolic white floral vibe in that Vert Malachite, which I appreciate a lot. All right, so this is all I have to say regarding the Armanis, you know, this colorful bottles. So I want to know down in the comment section your thoughts. Which one is your favorite? Do you own any of these or do you own all 4 of them? Let me know. Let's keep the discussion going down in the comment section. So, and if you are regularly watching fragrance videos, if you have come across my channel more than one time and if it interests you, please support by subscribing and activating the notifications. That helps me. As I said before, I'm not showing you stuff that has been gifted to me. Whatever I recommend here, I buy with my own money. And you know, if you are in a gay ally, this is your fragrance channel. Well, why not show your support, and I will see you at the next one. Take care, everyone.